Hey everyone, we are working on another letter today, and you guys been keeping track of the letters. We're getting pretty far along in our alphabet, and I'm going to do something really crazy. I did this the other day. It looks kind of cool. Get really crazy with the background back here. Just kind of use all the colors, because sometimes, you know, if you watch the sun go down, we get some really crazy sunsets, huh? Yeah. So what are some of the letters we've done? We've done A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. What comes after P? Who can help me? Q. Here comes Q. Up the coconut tree today. Okay, so we're going to be working on the letter Q. Q is kind of tricky. Okay. Q almost always needs a U to form a word. There is one word that I know of that does not need, that the Q does not need the U. Okay, so let's work on finding our Q's first, and I'll tell you about some of these words. Okay, but as we think of the letter Q, and Q is for queen, let's try and think some other words that start with the letter Q. Okay, so let's look at our Q. Okay, it's like it makes a circle around. Okay, and then we got to give it a little leg to stand on. So that's our Q. Okay, so right here is a Q. So we're going to color our Q. So Y, A, W, Q. What was the Q for again? Q is for queen. U, Q. It's another word that starts with Q. How about quick? Like the rabbit is quick to run in the bush. I, P. Oh, here's another Q. So we said Q is for queen. How about some of you might live in the Ranchos, Johnson Lane area, even if like Carson City, you see the quail, or you hear them. Quail starts with Q. There's a B. Here's another Q. And what else starts with a Q? You guys ever ask questions? Yeah, I bet you do. You're always asking questions. That starts with a Q. Z, K. Here's another Q. I am going to run out of words that start with the letter Q. Quill. Okay, back in the old days, people used to use a feather. It's called a quill, and they would dip it into ink to write. There's another Q. How about Queenie as a name? You know, a person or a dog. You name your dog Queenie. M, E, B. There's another Q. Quarter. We read that in our Nevada. S is for silver book. Q is for quarter. N. Here's another Q. I'm going to think about that one for a minute. Let's see. D, Q. How about Q is for quilt? You know, some of you might have a quilt that maybe a grandma or somebody might have made for your bed. Quilt's like, you know, a top cover for your bed. Here's another Q. How about quiet? Shh. Sometimes we have to be quiet, like at nap time or in the morning when we wake up and we don't hear, you know, anyone up yet. We kind of just lie there quiet in our bed. S, C, O, I. There's another Q. About Quincy. Quincy is a name. It could be a name for somebody, like a guy. There's also a city in Quincy. I believe it's in Australia. However, I think there is a Quincy in the United States too. There's an I, G, K, and another key, Q. Let's see, we used quick, quiet, quarter. I'm running out of Q. I'll use this as the example. See how most of the letters, when you have a Q, most Q's have to have a U to go with it to make a word. Okay, so 99% of the time, when you see a Q, the next letter that comes is going to be a U. Q-U. Okay? That's just how it is. But there's one letter, one word. It's called Qi. Q-I. It does not need a U. And that's it. That's the word, Qi. Everything else, it's Q-U and then something, something, something to make a letter, or put the letters together to make a word that starts with a Q. Okay, so there's our letter Q. Okay, what else do we have on here today? Okay, oh, I got to put my name on our page. See, when you have a line at the top, sometimes you don't have to have a line at the top. You want to put your name. I'm Miss Karen. That way a teacher knows who turned in what and can give you your little stars and stuff and make sure the homework gets back to places that it needs to be. Okay, so this, we're going to look at our capital Q and our lowercase q. Let me go use my highlighter. So top and bottom line, it makes, I said a circle, it's a circle, but it's more like an oval, okay? And then we give it a little leg to stand on. So a nice tall oval with a leg, okay? Nice tall oval with a leg. And a nice tall oval with a leg. And another nice big oval with a leg. Okay, so that's your capital Q. Okay, now we also have a lowercase q. Okay, so you start on your center line. It's a circle around, and then it has a leg that goes down and hangs down. Okay, now sometimes you'll see it have a little kind of hook like that. Okay, so either way, around and down. So just, either way, the little hook on the end or straight down is correct. You usually actually see it more like this. Okay, so little q, lowercase q, around and then down with a long leg. It's kind of like a backwards P. So circle and down, circle and down. Okay, and another way that this little like hook on the end helps, because the P goes that way. Well, if you get used to making a Q with the little hook on the end, that way you won't get them turned around when you start learning to read them and put them together. So I always make my Q's, my lowercase q's, with a little hook on them. Just makes sense. And when you start to learn cursive, which hopefully you will learn cursive, the Q is still around and down, and you're going to make that little hook like that for a cursive Q. But not today. That's something along about maybe 3rd, 4th grade, if you guys hopefully will get to learn cursive, which is a fancy way of connecting all the words together without a little space between them. It's a lot more formal way to write. You will learn how to make some cursive. But capital Q, lowercase q. Okay, so this is part 1 of the Q. There'll be a second part, and I have a little craft that we're going to do that, of course, emphasizes something about a Q. So you'll have to make sure you watch all of these so you can find the craft and you can make it.